Hey folks, Mike Johnson here. If it's got wheels and an engine, you're in the right place. On this channel, we dive into car repairs, maintenance tips, and everything you need to keep your ride running smooth. If you're into cars and want to keep learning, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. All right, enough talking. Let's get into it.
Driving too fast, accelerating aggressively, and braking suddenly for no good reason are some of the biggest ways to waste fuel. Aggressive driving makes your engine work harder, requiring you to burn more fuel. For example, driving at 130 km per hour can consume up to 25% more fuel than at 110 km per hour. Accelerate more slowly. Strong acceleration in traffic jams costs you 20% more fuel consumption. If you live in traffic jams and like to step on the gas pedal, use all that extra time at the next red light to think about how you could have spent the hundreds of euros you waste every year. Unnecessary and excessive idling. Do you often drive in traffic jams? Letting your vehicle idle while you're stopped in traffic, parked, or for any other reason means it continues to burn fuel even when you're not moving forward. This wastes fuel, so turning off your engine is often a good idea until you're ready to move again. Driving on underinflated or overinflated tires. Underinflated or overinflated tires can significantly increase your fuel consumption. If your tires are not inflated to the right pressure, they can deform, creating a larger contact patch with the road. This will increase your car's rolling resistance, the friction between the tire and the road, reducing fuel efficiency. Most tires naturally lose around 0.1 bar of air every month, so it's essential to check your tire pressure regularly. Driving with too much weight. Many of us use our cars as extra storage space, storing everything from golf clubs and baby carriages to files and books, and even for extra wardrobe space. However, the heavier your vehicle, the more fuel it will consume. This is especially true when you have to stop and restart in traffic. A good declutter may be necessary to increase your car's fuel efficiency. Driving with roof racks or roof carriers. A broken or missing plastic spoiler isn't just for sporty looks. If your car had a spoiler, driving without or with a damaged spoiler can reduce your fuel consumption. The spoiler literally bars the airflow to your car's underbody, forcing air over the hood. This helps your car cut through the air with less drag. It also increases airflow to the air conditioning condenser and radiator, reducing the load on your car's electrical system. Fuel-saving maintenance procedures. Not maintaining your car properly and neglecting to maintain your car can significantly reduce your fuel economy. Dirty oil, clogged air filters, low tire pressure, and faulty spark plugs can seriously impair your engine's performance. Maintain regular maintenance and inspections to optimize your car's fuel efficiency. Replace spark plugs early and save big. If your 160,000 km spark plugs have covered 130,000 km, they are 80% worn. Misfiring and incomplete combustion occur more frequently in the last 30,000 km. You're going to have to replace your spark plugs anyway, so do it early and save money. Even if you have to replace spark plugs once more in the life of your car, you'll save a lot. And don't automatically assume that your spark plugs are good for 160,000 km. Many four-cylinder engines require new spark plugs every 50,000 or 100,000 km. Change your air filter often. Your engine draws 53 million liters of air through the air filter every year. On older vehicles, before 1999, a dirty air filter increases fuel consumption by almost 10%. On newer vehicles, the computer is smart enough to detect the reduced airflow and therefore reduce fuel consumption. As a result, your engine will lack power and acceleration. Check the filter with every oil change, and replace it at least once a year, or more often if you drive in dusty, dirty conditions. Keep your car aligned. If your tires are misaligned by just 0.4 mm, that's the equivalent of dragging your tires sideways for 164 km for every 32,000 km you drive. Here's an easy way to check your alignment without taking your car to the garage. Buy a tread depth gauge and measure the tread depth on both edges of each tire, including rear tires. If one side of the tire is more worn than the other, your car needs an alignment. Replace your oxygen sensors before the light comes on. Oxygen sensors monitor combustion efficiency by tracking the amount of oxygen remaining in the exhaust gases. But they degrade over time, and this can cost you up to 15% more in fuel consumption. When they fail, the computer turns on your engine service soon light, forcing you to pay a diagnostic fee. On pre-1996 vehicles, replace your oxygen sensor every 100,000 kilometers to keep your fuel consumption at a maximum. On 1996 and newer vehicles, replace sensors every 160,000 kilometers. Some vehicles have up to 4, but sensors installed behind the catalytic converter rarely fail. Replace a faulty thermostat. A thermostat that opens too early or remains open can significantly lower coolant temperature and drastically cool your fuel consumption. Check the brakes. Braking can really sink your fuel consumption. Brake calipers have a nasty habit of rusting, locking up and lowering your fuel consumption. How can you tell if your brakes are dragging without having them checked by a garage? It's easy. Keep an eye on the warning lights. Pay attention to your warning lights. Car owners think that a check engine light on isn't important because it just means you have an emissions problem. Guess what? Emissions problems are almost always caused by incomplete combustion, and that means you're not getting the most out of your fuel. In other words, a check engine light means you're wasting fuel. Worse still, all that extra fuel goes straight into your expensive catalytic converter, causing it to fail prematurely. A new catalytic converter can cost over €1,000 to replace, and then you still have to solve the underlying problem that lit the check engine light in the first place. Often, the check engine light comes on because of a faulty sensor or a vacuum leak. Replace sensor or repair. Replace your car's cabin filter. A clogged cabin filter can damage your blower motor and make your air conditioner run longer and harder in summer. Cabin filters are easy to access and replace, and you'll save around €30 if you do it yourself. Cabin filters are generally located in the air ducts behind the glove box in newer vehicles. However, some automakers place them in the hood or console. Simply remove the access covers and slide out the old filter. Note the direction of the airflow arrows, so you can install the new filter in the right direction. Then reinstall the covers and you're done. Tips to improve your fuel economy. How much fuel your car uses depends on how you drive. You can save fuel by learning how your driving habits affect your car's fuel economy. Some common habits include driving too fast or accelerating and braking incorrectly, driving in the wrong gears or idling excessively. Avoiding these driving habits can increase your fuel economy. There are also things you can do apart from changing the way you drive to help you save fuel. Fuel costs, for example, vary considerably, so do your research to find the cheapest fuel in your area. Freeway service stations are the most expensive, while supermarket stations can sometimes have lower rates. Carpooling can also be an effective way of saving money on travel costs. Sharing a journey with others is cheaper, greener, and friendlier than traveling alone. It's often easy to organize with work colleagues or other parents on the school run. Finally, you could also benefit from fuel-saving technologies such as cruise control and energy-saving settings in many newer cars. Having an accurate GPS can also help, as avoiding traffic jams and longer roads can save you a lot of fuel. FAQs on reducing fuel consumption. What are the main causes of high fuel consumption? Aggressive driving, a sudden acceleration and braking, excessive speed, underinflated tires, poor grip and increased rolling resistance. Poorly maintained vehicle, clogged air filters, mechanical problems, poor lubrication, carrying unnecessary loads, extra weight that increases consumption, excessive use of air conditioning or heating. What are the most effective tips for reducing fuel consumption? Drive smoothly and anticipatively, accelerate and brake gently, respect speed limits, maintain a constant speed on freeways, avoid sudden changes in speed, plan your journeys and avoid traffic jams, plan your route to optimize your journey, inflate your tires correctly. Pressure in line with the manufacturer's recommendations, carry out regular maintenance on your vehicle, engine oil change, filter replacement, mechanical checks, use cruise control if possible, and maintain a constant speed on long journeys, switch off the engine when the vehicle is stationary, and don't leave the engine running unnecessarily. Favor alternative modes of transport, walk, cycle, use public transport whenever possible. Are there driving aids to optimize fuel consumption? How does city driving affect fuel consumption? Traffic jams and frequent stops significantly increase fuel consumption. Slow traffic promotes smoother, more economical driving. Choice of mode of transport favors alternatives to the car in city centers. Are there differences in fuel consumption according to vehicle type? Hybrid or electric vehicles generally lower fuel consumption. Aerodynamic models better air penetration and lower fuel consumption. Smaller engines, a generally lower fuel consumption. How does vehicle maintenance affect fuel consumption? Regular engine oil changes, a clean, fluid oil for better lubrication, clean air filters, ensure optimum fuel combustion, tires in good condition, a correct inflation, and even wear periodic mechanical checks, to detect and correct any mechanical problems is eco-responsible. Driving good for the environment? Reducing greenhouse gas emissions, combating climate change, reducing air pollution, improving air quality, preserving natural resources. Reducing oil consumption. What are the economic impacts of more fuel-efficient driving? Savings on fuel costs, a reduced expenditure on petrol or diesel, less wear and tear on the vehicle, extended vehicle life potential. Bonuses or tax benefits, incentives for eco-responsible drivers. How can I make others aware of the need to reduce fuel consumption? Sharing tips and best practices, disseminating useful information to those around you, encouraging the adoption of alternative modes of transport, promoting walking, cycling, or public transport, participating in local initiatives, supporting awareness raising and education programs. What are the future prospects for reducing fuel consumption? Development of more efficient vehicles, hybrids, electrics, hydrogen, improved recharging infrastructures, facilitate the adoption of electric vehicles, changing mobility behaviors, favor sustainable modes of transport. Conclusion, reducing fuel consumption at the wheel. In conclusion, reducing fuel consumption is not just a question of saving money, but also of environmental responsibility. By adopting more eco-responsible driving habits and avoiding the common mistakes mentioned in this article, you can help reduce your carbon footprint and preserve natural resources. Drive smoothly and avoid sudden acceleration and braking. Maintain a constant speed on the freeway. Inflate your tires properly. Maintain your vehicle regularly. Use cruise control whenever possible. Switch off the engine when stationary. Take public transport, cycle, or walk whenever possible. By following these simple tips, you can significantly reduce your fuel consumption and contribute to a more sustainable future. How to reduce fuel consumption? In conclusion, understanding the common driving mistakes and maintenance oversights that contribute to increased fuel consumption is essential for every driver. By being aware of these pitfalls and implementing the expert advice we've discussed, you can significantly improve your vehicle's fuel efficiency and reduce your monthly fuel expenses. Remember, small changes in your driving habits and regular maintenance can lead to substantial savings over time. So, take the time to assess your driving style and vehicle care routine, and start maximizing your fuel economy today. Thank you for watching, and safe driving.